Welcome to the SCP Foundation Classified Briefing. Today's subject: SCP-173, the Sculpture. If you find this information valuable, please consider liking this presentation and subscribing for further Foundation updates. SCP-173 was discovered in 2007 within an abandoned industrial site. Its anomalous properties were immediately apparent during initial recovery. The entity, a concrete and rebar sculpture, remains completely inert when directly observed. However, any break in direct line of sight, even for a fraction of a second, permits it to move at incredibly high speeds. The primary observed hostile action is the instantaneous snapping of the victim's neck or strangulation. Initial containment involved the team maintaining constant visual contact, a protocol that remains central to its security. You must understand that even a blink can be fatal. This anomaly represents an immediate, high-priority threat, demanding unwavering discipline from all assigned personnel. Under no circumstances is eye contact to be broken, not even for a moment. Its predictable, albeit instantaneous movement led to its classification as Euclid. While seemingly contradictory given its lethality, Euclid objects are those whose properties are understood, allowing for established containment procedures, even if those procedures are resource-intensive and high-risk. SCP-173's primary threat is its inability to be observed continuously by a single individual due to biological limitations like blinking. This necessitates a minimum of 3 personnel for any interaction or cell cleaning, ensuring staggered visual contact. The anomaly shows no other discernible anomalous properties beyond its mobility and capacity for lethal force. However, this predictability offers no comfort. It has resulted in numerous fatalities among Foundation personnel who underestimated the unforgiving nature of its anomalous movement. You are not dealing with an unpredictable Keter-class entity, but a perfectly efficient, silent killer. Your lives, and the lives of your team, depend on absolute adherence to every detail of the visual contact protocol. Any deviation will be met with immediate, severe consequences. The sculpture itself is constructed from concrete and rebar, with traces of Krylon brand spray paint. It stands approximately 1.8 meters tall. Notably, a red-brown substance, determined to be a mixture of feces and blood, is present on the floor of its containment cell and adhered to its surface. The origin of this substance is unknown and has never been observed to be actively excreted. Cleaning of its cell requires a full hazardous materials protocol, alongside the stringent visual observation procedures previously detailed. The core of its anomalous nature lies in its instantaneous translocation. When line of sight is broken, it ceases to exist at its current position and rematerializes adjacent to its victim, typically behind them. The speed of this movement is immeasurable and seemingly limitless, allowing it to cover vast distances in picoseconds. It uses this proximity to violently fracture the neck or induce strangulation. Remember, its inert appearance belies a predatory efficiency. You must treat every cleaning detail as a potential kill zone. The fatal mechanism of SCP-173 is deceptively simple and terrifyingly efficient. Upon any complete cessation of direct visual observation, even for a fraction of a second, the anomaly instantly relocates. This is not a slow movement. It is a quantum leap from one point in space to another, occurring faster than any known biological or mechanical reaction. Its target is always the nearest living creature capable of observation. Once proximity is achieved, it exerts immense, crushing force. The primary mode of attack involves a rapid, violent twisting of the neck, resulting in spinal cord severance and instantaneous death. In some documented cases, victims have been found to have suffered strangulation. There is no sound, no warning, no precursor to its attack. Once line of sight is broken, it does not pursue. It merely arrives. Its concrete and rebar construction grants it both immense durability and the necessary physical mass to inflict such trauma effortlessly. You will remember that its silence is its most dangerous weapon. Never assume safety based on proximity if visual contact is compromised. even momentarily. Incident 173 Alpha serves as a grim foundational lesson in this anomaly's lethality. During its initial containment and transport phase, personnel were still establishing optimal visual protocols. A standard transfer procedure was underway, involving 3 D-class personnel for maneuver and observation. One operative, designated D-173-1, was tasked with maintaining direct visual contact. As the team navigated a tight corridor, a momentary power flicker occurred, lasting less than 0.3 seconds. During this infinitesimal period, D-173-1 instinctively blinked. In that same instant, the anomaly was observed to be directly behind D-173-1. Before D-173-2 or D-173-3 could react or even fully register the change, D-173-1's neck was violently twisted, resulting in immediate cervical fracture and death. The anomaly then resumed its inert state, facing the remaining D-class. This incident underscored the absolute criticality of unbroken visual contact and the anomaly's immediate, unhesitating lethality. No lapse, however brief, will be tolerated. Your attention is the only shield. The psychological impact on personnel assigned to SCP-173 is profound and cannot be overstated. The constant vigilance required creates an immense mental burden. The fear of blinking, of momentary distraction, or of another team member faltering generates chronic, high-stress anxiety. Personnel report experiencing persistent nightmares involving the anomaly, extreme eye strain, and a pervasive sense of dread, even when away from its immediate presence. This sustained stress significantly increases the risk of human error, which, in this containment scenario, is invariably fatal. Protocols are in place for mandatory rotation and psychological evaluation to mitigate this, but the inherent nature of guarding an entity that kills upon unobserved movement ensures a baseline of extreme psychological pressure. You must learn to manage this stress, as your mental fortitude is as crucial to containment as your physical presence. Any signs of fatigue or impaired judgment must be reported immediately. Your awareness is its only barrier. Containment breaches involving SCP-173 are, by their nature, catastrophic and rapid. A significant breach scenario typically begins with a lapse in the visual chain. This could be due to a systemic failure, such as a localized power grid collapse causing light deprivation, or, more commonly, a critical human error. A guard momentarily succumbing to fatigue, an untrained individual entering a secured zone, or a communications breakdown during shift change. Once visual contact is broken, even for a fraction of a second, the anomaly is immediately unconstrained. Its movement within the facility becomes unpredictable and instantaneous. Recovery operations are extremely hazardous, requiring multiple synchronized teams to re-establish visual containment without sustaining further casualties. The primary objective shifts from observation to resecuring the anomaly, often at immense cost. The implication is clear. A failure of containment with this entity is not a prolonged event, but a series of lethal, blink-of-an-eye tragedies. Your diligence is the wall between it and disaster. The security measures at Site-19 for SCP-173 have evolved significantly, born from lessons learned during past containment breaches and near catastrophes. The original containment protocols, while seemingly robust, proved insufficient against the anomaly's unique properties and the fallibility of human vigilance. The current primary containment cell is now a heavily reinforced, hermetically sealed concrete chamber, equipped with redundant high-intensity lighting systems on independent power grids. Motion sensors and infrared cameras provide supplementary data, though they cannot substitute for direct visual observation. Access is restricted through a series of interlocking, pressure-sealed blast doors, each requiring biometric authentication and synchronized clearance from multiple personnel. Automated emergency protocols are in place to flood the chamber with disabling agents in a total breach scenario, a last resort to temporarily immobilize it for recontainment. These layers of defense are constantly reviewed and upgraded, Every protocol, every technological safeguard is a direct response to a potential failure point. Your strict adherence to these established procedures is non-negotiable. Despite decades of containment, the fundamental mechanisms governing SCP-173 remain largely theoretical. Its origin is completely unknown, with no verifiable historical records preceding its discovery. We do not understand how it moves without discernible musculature or external energy input, nor can we explain the instantaneous nature of its translocation. Theories range from localized temporal distortion to an as-yet undiscovered form of psionic manipulation, but empirical evidence is elusive due to the prohibitive danger of experimentation. The anomaly's apparent aggression, its consistent method of incapacitation, also lacks a clear explanation. Is it sentient? Does it derive some form of agency or satisfaction from its actions? Or is it merely an autonomous, instinctual mechanism, responding purely to the absence of observation? These questions are critical, yet direct inquiry carries an unacceptable risk, confining our understanding to its observed behavioral parameters. This profound knowledge gap underscores the enduring threat it poses. What we cannot comprehend, we can only react to. The implications of SCP-173 are stark. It represents an existential threat that defies comprehension and neutralization. Its unobservably mobile, lethal nature imposes an immense, constant burden on Foundation resources and personnel. There is no true way to stop it, only to contain it through an unbroken chain of visual observation. Every moment of its containment is a testament to disciplined vigilance. The danger is not merely physical, it is psychological, knowing that a momentary lapse, a single blink, can have catastrophic consequences. This anomaly demands absolute adherence to all established protocols, unwavering focus, and the understanding that your role in its containment is paramount. You are the living barrier between it and an uncontained scenario. This concludes your classified briefing on SCP-173, the sculpture. Stay vigilant, Foundation personnel. Dismissed.